Thank you. Welcome to today's web class where we're going to be talking about 3 weight loss secrets to diet. Excuse me. The diet industry is keeping from you and how to supercharge your weight loss instead. So let me ask you a question. Do you ever wonder why losing weight and keeping weight is so hard? And what if I tell you that's exactly what the diet industry wants you to do? What if I tell you that's exactly what the diet industry wants you to do? And so today I'm going to reveal to you 3 of the most common myths that the diet industry keeps using that has you on the hamster wheel of dieting to lose weight and then you're regaining weight again. But first, here's a weight loss disclaimer. No fad diet is actually going to work for you. You're going to need an action-based strategy. And it's going to take you 3 things: commitment, security, and upgrade. And because of those 3 things, results are not the same for everyone. And the number one question I always get is, how long until I lose weight? And the thing is, until you can do those 3 things by working on your commitment, your security, and upgrade, that is how long it's going to take for you to be able to achieve your goal. Because weight loss shouldn't be hard. You should be able to eat the foods you love. And you also deserve to feel great in your clothes and be the best version of yourself. And so just to let you know, give you a little bit about me. My name is Jason Cheney. I was a Iraq War veteran. I was at one point totally permanently disabled. And now I've lost over 200 pounds, became a certified health coach, published on Amazon, and co-founder of CJC Wellness. And also I'm a husband, cat dad, and expat. And at one point after the military, I suffered from a back injury and I lost myself in food. I didn't know who I once was. And it even got to the point to where I couldn't even tie my shoes anymore. And I needed my wife's assistance. But it wasn't only that, I was also starting to miss out on my dreams. When we went on our first cruise, one of the excursions that we had was to be able to go to walk the Mayan ruins. And because of my size, I wasn't physically able to do it. And I was still in my 20s. And the truth was, I just wanted to give up, but I couldn't. I wanted to be a husband that she could be proud of, that and be that provider and protector again. And so I swallowed my pride and I even asked the VA for help. And the VA did the best that they could do. But however, just like most other systems, they were overcrowded, undermanaged, and just couldn't get the time that I needed one-on-one and to be able to get the questions I needed answered. And so I knew I was going to have to go on my own. So the first thing I tried was, I was like, everyone keeps telling me calorie in, calorie out. So clearly, if I just learn how to control my calories and just severely lower them, I should be able to lose weight. And so I did extreme calorie restriction. I was eating maybe 700, 800 calories a day. And I was just so hungry and I still wasn't losing weight. And then after that, I was like, okay, maybe if I can just get healthy meals delivered to my house. I don't know what healthy looks like. So if I just pay for it and get it and eat it, then I'll be able to lose weight. And so, but the thing they don't tell you is when you actually end up using those, getting those healthy meals delivered to your door in the cardboard boxes, they end up tasting just like the cardboard that it comes in. And so I remember even telling myself that I'd just rather be fat. And so from there, I just decided to literally go on a journey. And we ended up selling everything, got rid of our 4-bedroom house, had a nice little oasis in the back with a jacuzzi and a sauna, and we left the United States. And from there, I started climbing new heights, literally. I discovered a plant-based diet, and some of the things I started seeing right off the bat was I was having more energy. I was able to fit in the airline seats better. I didn't even need big seatbelt extenders anymore after a certain point. And I just really started to feel like I was getting a second chance on life, and I wasn't going to let anything stop me this time. And wish I could tell you, like, it just went up. Everything was just great from there, but I ended up plateauing again, and I just didn't know what to do. And so I decided to use my skills from that I learned from the military as an intelligence analyst, and I was going to apply it to figuring out exactly how to lose weight and be successful at it. And so I started reading every plant-based book I could get my hands on. I was reaching out to the doctors, asking them, different plant-based doctors, asking them transition tips, things that they learned over their analysis of searching and all of this. And then I started watching documentaries till I knew them word for word. I would just watch them on repeat over and over and over again. And every time I was picking up something new that I wasn't aware of before. And then after that, I started investing more money into it. And so I started, every plant-based doctor webinar that I could afford. And 5 years later, just some of the accomplishments I had was I don't need a CPAP machine anymore. I'm able to breathe at night on my own without worry of choking. My blood pressure is normal again. Since I was 23 years old, I've been taking blood pressure pills, and over the 5 years that it's been normal. Now I'm able to walk over 180 miles a month, going from someone who needed my wife's assistance to put on my shoes, not able to walk to my rooms. I can walk on my own at 480 miles. And then also I was able to start helping other men to lose weight also. And from there, I became a certified health coach. And that wasn't it. I really believe in getting the facts. I wanted to make sure, was this the thing? Like plateauing was something that just really sucks and none of us like it. And so 2020 gave me the best time to really just test this and see, like, am I onto something? Did I really discover the way to lose weight and never have to worry about gaining weight again? And so 2020 locked up here in South America, Medellin, South America. We couldn't even leave our house for more than one time, to go to the store, and that was just once a week. And so it was the best time that I was like, I can't exercise. Let me see if everything I discovered is true. And I went on a quarantine experiment. And from there, not being able to exercise, just being able to focus on what I was eating and being able to still enjoy the foods that I eat. I was able to lose an additional 40 plus pounds. And so from there, I realized I had to teach this to anyone that was serious about losing weight and willing to listen, because the diet industry was never going to be honest with us. And so let's go ahead and get into why the diet industry, how the diet industry has been lying to you. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can actually start losing weight today. The closest alternative requires years of struggling, yo-yo diets, or watching the number on the scale to continue going up. And so my personal mission is to save you that pain and suffering. My question to you, are you just tired of being lied to, spending your hard-earned money and getting no results? And so let's go ahead and get into it. The 3 weight loss secrets the diet industry doesn't want us to know. So the first one is they don't want you to know you're being lied to. They also don't want you to know there's a whole group of foods looking at you each and every day you go into the grocery store called SuperCharge foods. And then they don't want you to know the fundamental flaw with why diets have failed you. So let's get into how they're being lied to. Have you ever been told carbs make you fat? So you've been told, oh, don't eat the carbs, throw away the bun, just eat the meat, eat everything else. Well, how did you actually feel giving up carbs? Because if you was anything like me, you may have felt tired. I was just really lethargic. I didn't have any energy to get through the day. So I caught myself, down on a lot of caffeine drinks at work and things like that. But also I was starting to have headaches and starting to just feel like I just wasn't snapping out. I wasn't getting things all the way. Like sometimes I have to read things over and over again just to get the message clear. And one of the things I didn't know is there were side effects of not eating carbs. It can range from things such as exhaustion, fatigue, nausea, headaches, muscle aches. You can even have smelly breath, lack of concentration, or dehydration. And when I figured that out and I started doing my research, I started actually really testing out. And one of the things I was testing out was overloading on the carbs. So I was eating tons of carbs, such as white rice, brown rice, wild rice, baked sweet potatoes, white potatoes, French fries, mashed potatoes, just roasted potatoes. And I was still able to lose weight. And the reason being is carbs is an energy source that our body needs. And the thing that I learned was the energy source, our bodies has 2 energy sources. Carbs is one of them. And we were being told to not use carbs as our energy source. But we've been told to use this other energy source. But we haven't been told exactly how bad that energy source is. And this is, think about it. Is oil a health food? And I'm talking about coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, no matter what type of oil. We've all been taught one way or another, these oils are different types of health foods. But the truth is, cooking oils have no nutritional benefit whatsoever. Cooking oils are only fat. And that second energy source that our bodies use is fat. But cooking oils are the most caloric dense food that we can eat. In 1 tablespoon of oil, there's 119 calories. But what if the fat you're struggling to lose is that fat that you're actually eating in the oil? And think about it. When was the last time you've only cooked with just a tablespoon of cooking oil? If you even use at the least 1 cup of cooking oil, you're looking at over 2,500 calories, your daily recommended value of calories in just oils. But the truth is, even frying just chicken or frying French fries, you're not using 1 cup of oil, you're using a lot more. And so if you want to start losing some of the extra fat, one of the things I noticed is change your energy source. So cut out the energy source of the caloric dense cooking oils. And so how would you feel if you can still eat delicious food without the added fats? And what do you think an oil-free meal actually look like? And so do you think you're gonna be like a rabbit just eating carrots all day? Or you're just gonna be eating boring, tasteless food, everything's gonna lose color, You're gonna feel like you're in a black and white movie. Because what if I told you you could have foods just like this and they're oil free? What about barbecue tempeh ribs, sesame cauliflower over a bed of rice, Korean tempeh? You can still eat buffalo cauliflower wings and guacamole sauce or your favorite vegan ranch dressing. You can have tamales with salsa. You can still have your hearty and warm chili. Even for if you're a breakfast eater, you can have your waffles. You can eat your pancakes. You can have breakfast tacos. And you can use tofu scrambles. You can use veggies. You can use potatoes. You can, whatever filling that you want, beans and rice. And you can have all of these as oil-free meals. But that's not, but just on not on top, but on top of that, also, you can have, there's a whole category of foods called supercharged foods that you have not been told about. And so what are supercharged foods, you may be asking? Supercharged foods are foods that give us a positive boost in energy. Think of our bodies just like a car battery. Like for your car to be running, that you want your battery to be full as much as possible. And when your battery start getting low in your car, things start going wrong. First thing maybe it may not start up all the way. You may just hear that, or you may see your lights are dimmed. You know, your radio is not coming on. The AC is not blowing as powerful. Like all of these things are the signs that telling you that your battery is actually going down. But unlike our bodies, we do not recognize these signs when it's telling us our body's going down. So maybe that little ache and pain, maybe when you're saying that, oh, if only I had extra energy, I could start going to the gym. Those are little signs that showing your battery is draining. So you want to start boosting them with supercharged foods. And one of the beautiful things about supercharged foods is not only do they help boost that battery, our internal battery, give us that extra energy, these foods also help boost and reducing inflammation in our bodies, which helps us lose weight at the same time. And so you can, and the other good thing about these is you can eat these foods without ever having to count a calorie again. These foods are not caloric dense like oils. And the opposite of these foods are the foods that we've been taught to eat since birth. And not only are they're emptying our batteries because they're negative charged foods, but they're also emptying our wallet. They're expensive. When you really start thinking about it, if you had extra energy just to get through the day, you wouldn't have to be buying all those extra energy drinks or those extra cups of coffee just to get you through. And so these foods are draining our battery. And these foods are causing us to be in a constant state of malnutrition and starvation because they're leaving us tired with a lack of concentration. And overall, we start feeling miserable with how we look in the mirror. And like I said, these have been foods we've been eating our entire life. So we're not aware of these foods. And so just to show you like how much of awareness we don't have on these foods is, can you guess which ones are supercharged? The top row or the bottom row? And if you said top row, you are correct. Those are supercharged foods. And you may be looking at them and you're like, what is the difference? The difference is between having more energy to get through the day and you barely making it through the day and you're just needing that energy drink to get through. The difference also is you being able to just get up out of bed and you're just gracefully going about your day, or you're getting out of bed and you're just really, really groggy. You're tired. You're hurting. You're just like, oh man, if only I could just wake up feeling that. This is the difference. And so and it shows you also you can still eat the food you love. You can still have pizza. You can still have milk. You can still have your burger patties. Like you can have all of these foods and still and have them in their supercharged form. And just to show you, like this is from a Facebook group that I have where I help people and share information with them just about being plant-based. So like you see, like someone was able to make some tacos. Had another person they saw, they found some plant-based chicken nuggets that they found in their local grocery store. Another person saw just egg, like they were still able to have that breakfast egg sandwiches that they like. And so just really think about it. Which do you want to be? Do you want to be able to eat the foods that you love in their supercharged forms and just be full of energy, just getting through the day? We're talking about foods ranging from fruit salad to some tacos. You can have potato wedges, French fries, enchiladas, meatballs, poke bowls, smoothies, your grains such as white, brown, or wild rice, couscous, amers, kamut, or even still your desserts such as chocolate cake and still have full of energy to get through the day? Or do you want to continue eating those negative charged foods, feeling the exact same that you feel right now? And like, just to let you know how powerful this is, like these are some of the most common foods lurking with negative charge ingredients. We're talking about nougat candy bars, some of your deli meats, hot dogs, canned tunas, even some of your medicines, vitamins, beauty products, chewing gum, instant potatoes, which should be against the law to call potatoes, flavored chips. Now, this one hurts me because I love barbecue or jalapeno flavored chips, especially some jalapeno kettle chips. But most of those, you have to be very careful and read the labels really well because they have, they're just full of negative charge ingredients. And there's just some of your common supercharged foods that's looking at you each and every day while you're going through the grocery store. We're talking about your fruits, such as watermelons, grapes, cantaloupes, honeydew melons, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, some of your tomatoes, your apples, whether they're orchard apples, green apples, or Fiji apples, gala apples, your veggies, onions, carrots, pumpkins, squashes, green beans, rices, like sushi, like broccoli. All of these foods are looking at you each and every day. And these foods are so much more cheaper than the negative charge foods. And so third part is to get to why have the diets exactly failed you? Remember I told you like diets have a fundamental flaw. And the truth is, once you've done one diet, you've done just about every diet that's on the market because they all make the same flaws. And the first thing is diet food, let's just be honest, it's boring, it's tasteless, it's usually very overpriced. So what you're getting, you don't feel like you got your money worth, and you don't lose weight. And one of the problems is they take the CBT approach. And what this means is cognitive behavioral therapy. And this is a great clinical approach because it does help people learn how to identify and change destructive or disturbing thought patterns that have a negative influence on their behavior or emotions. But however, this approach does not apply when we're talking about the way we eat. And the reason being is the way eating is not a destructive or disturbing thought pattern. We must eat to survive. We need to eat. That is a human necessity, a basic function of living. And so the way you eating isn't wrong because you have to eat. You have been misinformed on how to eat correctly. And so that is two different things. And every diet you have tried has made this mistake because they're telling you the way you eating is wrong. You're not wrong because of the way you eat. You're misinformed on how you eat. You're going after the things that you know, and what it is because we've been taught this way from birth. When we deter too far away from the eating that we know, our habits kick in, which we call self-sabotage. And so then we're just in this perpetual cycle of beating ourselves up, thinking something is wrong. And this is why diets have failed you. And on top of that, the other area where diets have failed you is they tell you to do portion control, calorie in and calorie out. And all calories are not created equal. Because if you're looking at caloric foods that are negative charge, they have a very caloric density. Whereas foods that are supercharged have a nutrient density. Those two things do not look alike. And so we have been told to compare junk food to real food. And this is the reason why. So on the left, you see all of these negative charge foods. These are caloric dense foods. So we're talking about foods such as your candies, a lot of your pre-prepared deli meats, things like these are just loaded with chemicals, and even your sodas, your soft drinks. And we're talking about real food that are water-rich foods such as your grapes, strawberries, rice, beans, bell peppers, onions, carrots, broccoli. These foods are not the same. And because you've been taught to eat junk food and not real food, you've been told to count calories, but not actually seeing and analyzing where the calorie is coming from. And because you're eating caloric dense foods, it's giving you your daily recommended value of calories. You're actually starving yourself because you're not getting the nutrient dense foods that you actually need so you can start losing weight and lose it and keep the weight off. And just to show you, these are some of the foods that I'm still eating each and every day. I still eat burgers. I still eat pizza, nachos. I like that. The picture up in the middle up top, those are oyster mushrooms. So I still eat that. Lasagna rolls, lasagna soup sometime when I have that. Biscuit and gravies. All of these are foods that you can still continue to eat and actually be able to lose weight. You're not giving up any other foods you love. And so just ask yourself, like, would you eat any of these foods? If you could lose weight, knowing you can lose 40 pounds right in 2 months and eating these foods, would you eat these foods each and every day? And yes, the answer is yes, because these are the foods that closely resemble what you go to. And I'm going to break down something to you a little later on called your food home. And when you steer away from your food home, this is where self-sabotage comes into play. And so over the last hour, we went through how you've been lied to, how they've been telling you to give up one energy source, which is carbs, and switch it out for a caloric dense energy source, which is fats. And we're getting a lot of those fats in the form of oils. Even if you're not cooking a lot of your own foods, you're getting the oils already added in through prepackaged foods. Because remember, in your all of your negative charge foods are very full of oils and chemicals and things like that. And so also I've showed you how you should be switching to your supercharged foods, and showed you how also you can enjoy these supercharged foods and still lose weight. And the last part is we went over why the diets have actually failed you, because they've been using a CBT approach, which is great for certain situations that people are dealing with. But however, it does not apply to when it comes to eating, because the way you eat is not wrong. You've just been misinformed. And so because you've been misinformed, you have to actually go through and start changing what I like to call your food home. And so moving forward, you can do one or two things. You can be like, okay, Jason, I got this. I'm going to cut out all these negative charged foods. I'm going to go supercharged foods, and I got it. But however, if you're like, look, I don't know, I know this isn't enough. I need more. I need just a little bit more. And you can fast lane it. And because you need to know the truth, I want to show you exactly how to lose weight. Can I show you how to do that right now? And so this is what I discovered when I went on that quarantine experiment. And I like to call it SuperCharge, going electric. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. And here's what will make it different. It's a proven system that took over 5 years of my life figuring out what worked and what doesn't work. And when I started using those skills as an analyst, as an imager that I learned in the military from those years ago, I was able to start losing weight while continuing to enjoy the foods I love. And I wasn't counting calories anymore, because I started switching from those negative charge caloric dense foods and switching from the wrong energy source and getting the foods that I actually needed to get my body where it was. And I focused in 7 specific areas. And it was as simple as tuning up your car. And so the first area that I saw that you have to actually start working on is disengaging autopilot. And what I mean by this is, remember I told you we have that food home that automatically guides us. So now we have to go in and disengage that autopilot. We can't just eat on auto control anymore, on autopilot anymore. We have to take control of our eating. We have to start tracking what we're eating. We have to start understanding what are the foods that we're eating each and every day. Because one thing I've discovered was most of us don't steer away from a core 5 to 7 meals that we eat on a daily basis. And so once you discover those core foods that you're eating on a daily basis, you start really understanding your food home, which we're going to talk into next. And that's reprogramming your GPS. Because we eat a combination of 5 to 7 foods on a normal basis, that makes up our GPS of the meals that we go to. And what I discovered was, like, once you start learning your food home GPS, you start understanding like this GPS is very deep, and it has a lot of power over our lives, on our eating lives. And meaning that it has emotional destinations. Like when we're sad, what are the foods that we go to? When we're happy, what are the foods we go to? And when we start seeing all of these different destinations, such as frequently visited, like what are the destinations you go to for Thanksgiving? What are the foods you eat for Christmas? What are the foods you eat for your birthday or Mother's Day? And then what are the foods you just eat on autopilot? Like when you're driving home from work or you're going to work in the morning, is there specific restaurants you stop at? Is there specific drive-throughs you go through? And because once you start figuring that out and really having a grasp of understanding how you're eating, then you can go through and start modifying. All you have to do when you're modifying them is you take replacing negative charge ingredients for supercharged ingredients. And remember how I showed you the oil-free meals, all the different foods I was eating, the burgers, nachos, things like this. This is where you start replacing this GPS system and you stop the self-sabotage. Because now that GPS system is like, okay, I'm still eating nachos. I'm sad right now. I want some nachos. Or I'm happy. I want to celebrate. I need a piece of chocolate cake. You can go get that supercharged version of chocolate cake and be able to still lose weight. You're no longer self-sabotaging to where you're eating these caloric dense meals. And then you're feeling so full, like, oh, can't move. Oh, I need to just go take a nap. This is where I've learned. Once you start reprogramming that GPS, finding your food home, losing weight will never be an issue again. And then the third area you want to tune up is high octane fuel. You want to start really switching from the high fuel source, the high low grade fuel source of just fat, and going to the high octane fuel source of carbohydrates. And because you're going to start curbing off of the fat, which is a low grade fuel source, as you're upping your carbs, you're going to start saying, wait, I don't gain weight eating carbs. I start losing weight. In fact, it starts melting off. And so when I really want to start losing weight, and the more carbs I'm eating without the low grade fuel with it included, you'll start seeing that you're just melting it off because you're having tons more energy because your fuel tank is always on full and you're able to just burn off more. This is how I started walking 180 plus miles a month. It wasn't something I just did overnight. I didn't go from not being able to tie my shoes to walking 180 miles. As I started switching those fuel sources, lowering the low grade fuel source and going more to the high octane fuel, I was able to add more. It started out with just being able to walk more around the block, which turned to walking around the neighborhood, which then turned to walking around the track. And now that's when it started to like, oh, I needed some way to track how many steps I'm doing because I couldn't see in my mind anymore. And then I looked down after a month, it's 180 miles I calculated. Like this is how I was able to do that, and so can you. And then the fourth area you want to tune up is your O2 sensors. And just like your car, you want to, like in your car, you replace the oxygen sensors, you replace the air filter and all of those things. And you want to do the same thing in your body. But in our body, it's nothing physically we can move out. So we have to start understanding our bodies self-regulate nitrogen and oxygen so we can burn the fuel efficiently. And so as you're increasing more of the high octane fuel, you want to start making sure you're getting more of the antioxidant rich foods also. And by doing this, you start seeing like you'll start getting more, being able to breathe more, being able to take deeper breaths. Or, how like you ever climbed up a flight of stairs and you're just huffing and puffing. Like now you may just puff once or take one deep breath in. And so this is really awesome because this is one of the things that started helping me as I was getting off the CPAP machine. Like again, like it was just like with the walking, like it didn't happen overnight. I committed to doing this each and every day. I was like, okay, what is the best thing I can do to tune up this O2 sensor? And then after 3 months, I actually started feeling a difference in the CPAP machine. And I was like, okay, I think I can get rid of it. I don't need this to sleep anymore. But I was scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was scared. So it took me another 2 to 3 months before I actually took that first step of attempting to get off my CPAP machine. And so I remember just like yesterday, before going to bed, I talked to my wife and I was like, hey, I'm going to try to sleep without my machine tonight. So just to give her a heads up so she can be a little bit more aware in case I'm snoring real loud or feel like I'm real quiet, just to shake me, make sure I'm okay. I was scared. And that night I slept like a baby. it was the first time in years, almost over 12 years to be exact, that I slept a full 8 hours and I woke up refreshed. I just remember that day I woke up, it was like 5 in the morning. And I'm not even a morning, I wasn't even a morning person at that time. I woke up at 5 in the morning and I was just full of energy. The first thing I did was just got out of bed and sat on the porch. Like wasn't able to do that in so many years. And so this is how powerful this is, just tuning up and focusing on that O2 sensor so you can just breathe better. And then the fifth area you want to start tuning up is your coolant. Like just like the car, you want to flush that coolant out. And remember, because I showed you, like, one of the side effects of not eating a lot of carbohydrates is you're actually dehydrated. And so when your car is running out of coolant in the radiator, you make sure to put more coolant in there. But for our bodies, we don't do that sometimes. We just keep drinking things such as soda, fruit drinks, all of these things that are to mimic water, but they're not giving our body what it actually needs, which is to be flushed out properly. And because our body's made up of 70% water, and we've naturally been eating a water deficient diet, it leads us to hold on to this excess weight. And one of the reasons is because, like, with proper hydration, our body can flush out a lot of toxins. But because we're in a dehydrated state, we're building up those toxins. And what is the best place for the body to hold toxins is the excess fat cells. And so once you start tuning up and start really focusing on eating a water-rich diet, also getting your sufficient amount of water each and every day, flushing your coolant out, like I like to call it, as your body's releasing those toxins, the fat cells are just coming off right behind them also. And then the sixth area you want to tune up is the oil change. And really think about this. If your car was low on oil and you was like, hey, Jason, give me some oil so I can throw in. And I was like, okay, what kind you need? He was like, 10W30. And I just throw you a 5W20, 5-weight 20. Hopefully you wouldn't put that oil in your engine because it's going to mess up your engine. But this is the same thing we're doing each and every day in our bodies. Not only are we using oil as our main energy source, we're using the wrong type of oil, and we've been putting this in our bodies each and every day. And there's two types of oils. We have omega-6s and omega-3s, and you can get all of these naturally throughout the plant kingdom. However, our ratios are incorrect. Most of us, because we use olive oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, palm oil, all of these different types of oils, even your avocado oil, grapeseed oil, sesame seed oil, all of these oils are high in omega-6. And we're eating a ratio that is about 16 to 20 to 1 in form of a omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. But the real ratio we're supposed to be eating is omega-3 to omega-6 and 4 to 1, meaning 4 servings of omega-3s to 1 serving of omega-6. And we've actually been through our diets, because we now live in a fast food culture. We live in a lot of prepackaged foods that have all of these oils in there, and they're using the cheapest sourced oils, which are omega-6s. And we're now eating a 16 to 20 to 1 ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s. And this has been one of the things that's most detrimental to our lifestyles now. And if you ever told yourself, like, oh man, these aches and pains, like I used to even have these. One of the reasons you used to have these is because your ratio wasn't built up so high. You know, this is things that's been happening to us over time as our diets have been changing, as through work, stress, and we've been leaning more towards a fast food lifestyle, more towards a pre-prepared meal lifestyle. So it's not your fault. These are just the things that we were not aware of when we started making convenience more of a thing for our food system. And then you also deserve to know what the diet industry is withholding from you. They just don't want you to know this. And it's called being supercharged. Only 5% of people are actually supercharged, meaning they're eating the correct ratio of foods that are keeping their batteries at a full state. 95% of us are at a state of negative charge at all times. And I want to show you And one of the things is I'm gonna show you, you have the opportunity to purchase the program today, but you'll learn how to, in that program, how to be a 5%er with my signature recipe, just using local ingredients from your grocery store. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I know there's nothing as powerful as a combination of losing weight and feeling good in your skin. Coming from someone who was over 550 plus pounds to where now I can go into a regular store and just buy things off the rack. Like nothing feels as good as that. And so you have the opportunity to get the SuperCharge course today, and it doesn't cost you, it's a $1,997 value, and it's a step-by-step video guide. And also you're gonna have a guided workbook, and you get lifetime digital access to this. And you're not gonna pay anywhere near $1,997. And so that's the course you'll be able to have the opportunity to get. And also it includes a Facebook group that you can get into also, you'll have access. And this is where you can just get more meal ideas, some bonus trainings, and it helps you with just having an added layer of accountability, but also a community that you can follow on also. So there's some days you're like, hey, is this a negative charge, is this supercharge? You can ask questions in the group. And you can also share meals also to help inspire others and how they can do their get different meals that are supercharged. Just show you, like, this is one where, I shared this in the group so someone can know, like, it was like, hey, what are some places I can go with coworkers where I can still get really close to having a fully supercharged meal. And I share with them, like, hey, look, here's Taco Cabana. They have a Cabana bowl they use Beyond Crumbles instead of ground beef, which is negative charge. They use Beyond Crumbles. And I was like, look, and share this with them, because this is the thing. This isn't about deficiency. This isn't about deprivation. This is about still being able to live your everyday life. You should still be able to go out and eat with coworkers. You still be able to go out and eat with your family and friends. Like, this is what it means. This is about eating lifestyle. Like, the diet mentality have to stop now. We have to get to where we're just able to eat and be relaxed and live a normal life without so much pressure and added stress. Life is stressful enough. We don't have to make it stressful with something that our normal everyday action, which is eating. And so also with the program, you'll get the Ask the Doctors. This is a questionnaire where send out some questions to 3 of the top leading plant-based doctors in the community, Dr. Kim Williams, Dr. Joe Kahn, and Dr. Neil Bernard. And they sent back their feedback, and also have added complimentary interviews, video interview that each of them did also, for you to just get a little bit more knowledge from them and a little bit more education. And that's part of the upgrading part. Remember I told you it's 3 areas you have to focus on when you're wanting to lose weight, and that's your commitment, your security, and your upgrade. And this is just to help you get that upgrade also. And then, this program is going to help turn you into the fit and healthy person that you want to be. And just think about it for a second. What would your world look like if you just started having a little bit more energy, just got a better night of sleep? You was able to just walk up a flight of stairs, or just felt better overall. Or if it just helped you feel a little bit better in your clothes, eliminate all of your stress around eating out with coworkers or friends, not having to stress out and tell people like, oh, I'm dieting, I'm on this diet now. Or you just started to lose weight and keep it off for good. And I want this to be a no-brainer for you, because look, you deserve to lose weight now. Like, this is why I broke this down to you. This is why I'm showing you exactly the 7 areas that you need to start focusing on. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this would normally cost you about $597. But because your time's now, you can start this today for only $197. All you have to do is go to www.getsuperchargednow.com/join, or click the link down in the box below, in the chat box below. And also, I got a budget for everyone. I got an option for every budget in the room, just in case the money's a little tight. You can also do 3 payments for $77. Just go to www.getsuperchargednow.com/join. And and just show you some examples of what you can get, what people are getting from this. Like, this is my lovely wife, Cece. She said, I was always tired. I just couldn't find the energy to make it through the day. So I self-diagnosed myself as chronic fatigue. She said, after switching plant-based, my energy levels are unimaginable. Now people are asking me, what's my secret? I just tell them the plants. And or you're going to just continue sitting in front of the TV, just wishing there was something you could do and continue getting no results. Or are you ready to just go ahead and start taking action, unleash that supercharger that's in you, lose weight, feel great in your clothes, and or you just ready for a change? And also, here's a testimonial from Clee. She said, I was desperate to control my heart disease and get off the 13 medications I was taking. In 2017, I took the plunge, and I'm so glad that I did. I reduced my medications from 13 to 5. All of my heart test results are positive. My cardiologist even told me that if he didn't know I had 5 surgeries, he would think I had a normal heart. This alone was worth the change, and this plant-based lifestyle hasn't failed me yet. And just give you another bonus to help you through this is the SuperCharge recipe book. This is SuperCharge, a book of 70 recipes of supercharged meals you can prepare at home using common found ingredients in your local grocery store. And the beauty about this is you don't have to you can stop wasting money on overpriced superfoods. And most importantly, it's going to take the confusion out of what to eat for you. Here's a testimony from Duncan. I wanted to focus on my health and reach a higher level of discipline. I was able to strengthen my bond with my wife, my sense of patience. I'm no longer experiencing gastrointestinal issues, which is amazing. And just to share with you a little bit more about my testimony, I was tired of being called big guy. I felt people was only seeing me for my size. Everywhere I was going, people were like, hey, what's up, big man? Hey, big dude. Hey, what's up, big guy? I was just sick of it. I was like, man, my name is Jason. Call me by my name. I really just felt people just saw me for my size. And now people tell me how amazing I look, and they just call me Jason. And another bonus I want to give you with this, with the program, if you choose to get it today, is the SuperCharge Tracker Workbook. This is a workbook I put together specifically for you. It helps you track your food home, so you can start writing down, understanding exactly what these GPS locations is for your eating lifestyle. And remember, once you hack these 5 to 7 foods that you commonly eat, you're going to know exactly how to mix and match any meal you want. You're going to be able to tackle those cravings in this supercharged form, being able to eat things such as your chocolate cake and still be able to lose weight. You'll still be able to know how to use, once you learn your food home, how to still be able to eat certain fried foods in this supercharged form. Being able to switch the oils to the proper oils of the omega-3 riches instead of omega-6 riches, and still eat these foods. And this is by analyzing these specific foods, you also know how they make you feel. So you'll start seeing, like, you know what, if I'm eating this certain food more and more, I feel every time I eat this food, I don't feel my mood isn't as good. And you start seeing, once you eliminate that food, you start feeling better. You start being happier. And most importantly, you're going to start learning how to track how many inches you're losing, because you're going to start cinching up. Remember, I tell you that the excess fat is going to start melting off. But because you'll be gaining muscle at the same time, you may not always see the number on the scale go in your favor. But when you start seeing your clothes, that waistline cinching in, that's going to be very important, because that's going to help you stay focused on accomplishing your goal. And before we end out, just want to leave you with one last testimonial from Tiffany. She said, I was ill, very ill. Going plant-based was giving me unforeseen benefits. I'm never sick, and I just feel overall healthy, the best in my life, actually. Because within a few weeks, all of my symptoms that mimic multiple sclerosis started to dissipate and eventually went away. This is what I'm talking about supercharged foods. This is the beauty about keeping your battery full. If you start eating to keep your battery full, even symptoms that can mimic multiple sclerosis, which is one of the most physical illnesses that show you a depleted battery, you can get the health that you want. You can get the life that you want. And remember, your time is now. And so, any questions? I want to thank you for jumping on for today's web class. And just if anything you take out of this, just get more supercharged foods into your diet each and every day. You don't have to become a vegan. You don't have to be fully plant-based like I am, but just add more supercharged foods into your day. At the very least, I'll leave you with this bit of advice. Every time before you eat, try to have a medium-sized apple nearby. Just eat that apple before you eat your meal, and that will actually work wonders for you. Just to adding that extra supercharged food in your meal into your day each and every day before you eat your regular meals will actually work wonders on your health. So I want to thank you for hopping on. Have a great Thursday and stay supercharged.